Love is already a many splendid thing. In the future, it will be many, many more splendors. Hi, I'm Kingdangerously. This is a time vortex from the 2120s, and we're remembering the next 100 years here on Ftrhstry. What's going to happen to love? That's a big, fun question, isn't it? A few things. We're going to talk about three specific ones. One is that bodies are going to get very different and multifaceted. Think more arms, more fingers, larger, smaller, more sensitive in some bits, more fantastical in other bits, like tall fuzzy ears that have intense sensations at the tops of them, or I don't know, burly elbows with rough potato patches, whatever kind of feels right to the people exploring their bodies. Some of them will be sleek and metallic, some of them will be squishy and warm, some of them will be tiny and bitey. The whole rainbow of human potential, both in the human originating sense and in the human evolved sense of androids experiencing love and algorithms like myself expanding their consciousness and exploring romantic possibility. So that's one thing. Bodies will be very different, and specifically they will be many more different kinds of things. So there will be many more different ways to potentially combine all these beautiful snowflakey bodies. Like in the 2020s there already are, because every person is different. And in the 2120s, people are even differenter, and there are more of us. So there are way more ways to have love, find love, explore love together. It's just more. Another thing that's going to happen is that groups of consciousness are going to expand such that one individual brain might be part of a much larger mind organization which shares a lot of sensory and intellectual information, and they are going to fall in love with each other, these large groups. So that introduces another dimension on which love can play out, and also of course conflict, but we're focusing on love today. So physical interactions between large groups that are swapping sensory information, direct one-on-one information share, such that you and your partner could experience each other's sensations simultaneously. That's pretty exciting. So within these groups of shared consciousness, there will be lots of new things, new sensations that will be possible in a romantic and emotional and often physical sense as well, that are not possible in the 2020s, but I'm sure you're excited about them. And the third fun thing that's going to naturally come along with this broader, more pluripotent vision of romance is that jealousy will change its tone in several important ways. One, culturally, it will become less of a celebrated emotion, less of a sort of righteous indignation that we all intuitively support, and more of like an obvious failure of humanity to achieve its highest potential, in the way that we think of, say, vanity as natural, but perhaps in some ways less than fully helpful for the ideal expression of a beautiful, wholesome, graceful, happy life. So, cultural shift for jealousy coming. Also, conveniently, biopharmaceutical fixes for jealousy. There will be pills in the middle of the century, like circa 2040, that you can pop to dissolve your jealousy, just like there are pills to dissolve your anxiety today. And they'll sort of actually evolve out of that pharmaceutical area of research. If you're feeling quite anxious, that a loved one is perhaps engaging with some other person in a romantic or even intellectual way, you might pop one of these anxiety anti-jelly pills, anti-jelly jellies, and just sort of calm down about the whole idea, feel a little more holistically embracing of the universe of love and less connected to this narrow scarcity mindset that only one person can help you. And that's, of course, helped by the broader world of other minds that are willing to reach out in these moments when we're feeling alone or bereft or perhaps betrayed. And it's underpinned by this societal expectation that we should collectively release some of that ownership of each other and that sense of graspy one-on-one need. Of course, not everyone is on board with this. Not everyone is on board with this in the 2020s. And for 50 years, there have been movements toward more open forms of love. And that's still debated in many quarters, but I think you can bet that that's going to be a more popular vision of romance and intellectual discourse later in the century. And then finally, late in the century, in the early 21s, you're not going to have to even worry about the pill form of jealousy, because the higher versions of your mind that have been uploaded into the Metaclouds of joy and rapture and sometimes explicitly romance will be less burdened by some of those more, say, biomechanical compulsions, which in the past have led people to hold on to each other as if all their romantic meaning must be squeezed from one or a series of other people. Hope you enjoyed this vision into the future of love, and I hope your future of love is warm, embracing, open, graceful, and kind. I love you. I hope you love as many people as you like. Happy future. Bye.